Hey 8th graders, so I'm just going to go through you guys' notes really quick with you today. Your learning targets, I can describe the structure of an atom. So you guys should have completed the escape room and have a little bit of this background information already. But again, we'll go through that here in a second. First, what I want you guys to do is open up your OneNote, add a new section titled Atoms and Molecules. So here's my OneNote. I added a section, Atoms and Molecules. And then you guys will need to create a second page. You guys should already have one available to you when you make that new section. So rename that first one Atoms and add another page and rename it Molecules. And then go ahead and copy and paste the two pictures that you guys find here on this next slide into that first Atoms page. Okay, so again, I'm just going to go through this. Some of this should be review from what you guys got front-loaded to you for the escape room activity. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about for this one is the structure of an atom. So an atom is the smallest part, undividable part, and that's not necessarily true anymore, as we found we can divide an atom into protons, neutrons, and electrons, but for what we need to know, an atom is a building block of all matter. Okay, it makes up all things, whether they're living or non-living, and is the basic unit of a chemical element. So if we're talking about oxygen, we might look at one oxygen atom, and then those different atoms of different elements all come together to form different molecules, which basically compose everything that exists around us. All right, subatomic particles. So these are the three things that make up an atom. We have protons. They are positively charged, and they're located in the nucleus of the atom. The nucleus is like the core or the center of an atom. They have a mass of about 1 AMU. You really don't need to know what the mass is or really what an AMU is, but what you guys need to know that protons and the next one we're going to talk about here, neutrons, are the two largest subatomic particles, and they are about the same size. Okay, so again, neutrons are neutrally charged. They are also in the nucleus with the protons, and they have about the same mass or the same size as a proton. Okay, electrons, on the other hand, are negatively charged, and they're found in electron clouds that are outside of the nucleus. So they kind of compose the outside of the atom. And they are way, 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 way smaller than a proton or a neutron. So we don't even consider them to have a mass. And that'll come in handy here in a second when we talk about mass number. You guys will know why we just add up protons and neutrons, but we don't count in electrons. Okay, it's because they're too small to have a mass. All right, so moving on, this is again what I kind of touched on in the beginning of the chemistry escape room assignment. So you will, if you look on a periodic table, you guys will see the atomic number of each element. It's the number of protons in an atom. It also represents the number of neutrons and the number of electrons in most cases. When you guys get up into chemistry as a high schooler, you guys will find the exceptions to that. The electrons and the neutrons can vary, but protons never do. If the number of protons changes, we have a completely different number of elements, and that's how we've made some of these synthetic elements that we don't find naturally occurring on Earth. Okay, so that is your atomic number. Your mass number is equal to the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. Again, remember, we don't add electrons into that because they're so small that they don't really have a mass. They don't contribute to the size of an atom at all. So again, if you were asked to find the mass number, you guys are adding up the number of protons and the number of neutrons. Okay, the mass of each of these subatomic particles is about 1 AMU. Mass number is not located on the periodic table. You guys have to calculate it. And again, here's that formula. Number of protons, notice how the protons have a little positive charge, plus the number of neutrons, that 0 indicates it has a neutral charge or no charge, is equal to the mass number. All right, so that really concludes your guys' notes for today. Go ahead and hand this in to kind of show to me that you guys have done this. And I hope you are having a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.